Oh, it's whatever. I shouldn't have recorded. I was going to go with the housekeeping things first, but it's fine. I'll just go ahead and record it. Welcome everybody to our new episode for November, Lifecycle Insights Booster. Today we're actually going to be talking about budget forecasts or budgeting, and it's going to be a two-parter. This first week is going to be today, and then the second part will be next week, and it's more like I'll give you guys homework and whatnot. So if you guys are just seeing this in recording, once you guys see it, just make sure you follow the steps of what the homework is. Couple of housekeeping items. Visit scalepad.com for /events for more info on webinars, education, and on-site events. And then another housekeeping part, time change for booster sessions. We've listened to the feedback. We've listened to everybody that has said that 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays is just way too early for people. I get it. We understand. We're moving this session next week on the 8th of November, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. I didn't give you guys enough time to actually do the time change last week. So I'm going to give you guys the time now. Hey, next week, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be the same registration and all that good stuff for everybody. A couple of other things. Where are we going to be next? IT Nation Evolve, November 6th through 8th, or IT Nation basically for that whole week, 6th through the 10th in Orlando, Florida. Women of the Channel, December 4th and 5th for in New York. Millionaire Mastermind, December 7th and 8th in Newport Beach, California. And then ScalePad Ignition, which is our end of the year event for all our partners. 3 virtual shows coming in on December 14th. I am going to put on chat the link. If I can find it, I am so sorry. All right. I'm going to put on chat the link to register for that event. Now it's 3. It is 3 different sessions on the same day. It's basically whatever you feel comfortable with. You know, session 1 is going to be 7 a.m. Pacific Standard. Session 2 is going to be 10 a.m. Pacific Standard, and session 3 is 4 p.m. Pacific Standard. That includes like Australian calls and whatnot. So that's why we're doing it 3 separate times so that you guys are available for any of those times. And the 5 reasons to join is 1, you get to connect with ScalePad MSP as a community. So you get to see all the other MSPs in our community and chat and have a great time there. Number 2, learn about industry trends and insights to lead you into 2024. So we're doing this in December to give you guys some, hey, this is what we're seeing in 2024. This is what you guys should prepare for and whatnot. Number 3, hear how our partners are tackling industry challenges. So we have partners that are 5 million. We have partners that are 1 million. You'll get to hear some of our partners that actually get to talk about those industry challenges and whatnot. So be there for it. Number 4, get a sneak peek at the 2024 ScalePad product roadmap. So we'll announce some things in that ignition that you'll see where in the roadmap things are and all that good stuff. We I will include that includes the Lifecycle Insights dev team, and technically we'll get more of a roadmap beforehand. So in November 15th, I'll show you guys that our dev team will be on this call, and I get to interview them and find out what's coming up and what we've had done so far and what's coming up soon. And then number 5, find out our 2024 ScalePad Partner Awards finalists. So we as a team get to choose or figure out, hey, who deserves this award, and all that good stuff. And we vote on these people and whatnot. And you get to find out who the awards finalists are. We don't announce that until January. So just be on the lookout for that. Just make sure that you guys register all the things that I put on chat for you. And Alexander, I know you just logged on. I'm going to go ahead and put that registration again for you.
Excellent. You are the man.
I'm okay. Don't spread that out too loud. I have street cred. All right, so that's the scale pad ignition on December 14th. We have launch pads on Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern for VCIO, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on customer success, if you guys have that module available. On to the next thing. MSP Confidential is now on Fridays, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's what replaced office hours for Lifecycle Insights. This is now technically office hours for Lifecycle Insights. And that's, it's Louise's baby. It's basically a podcast / live stream. For more information, scalepad.com/events. All right. Couple other things. New Lifecycle Insight Help Center is live. So it's help.lifecycleinsights.io. And it's basically just knowledge-based articles on company reports, MSP reports, and inside Lifecycle Insights for you. The old Help Center is still live, but will be deprecated in a few months. Last announcement for the platform is new community platform is coming. It's basically going to hold all the forums, discussions, feature requests, roadmap updates, and all these videos will be posted on the same site as well. So you guys, it's in one-stop shop for everybody. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about Lifecycle Insights booster. In this booster, I'm going to talk about it's not too late to give your clients a 2024 technology budget. And one of the things that, one of the quotes that I love, and just a little bit about me, I'm your booster guy. I'm an all-around good guy. But the quote that I love so much is the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is now. So if you haven't given your clients a 2024 roadmap of their budget, now is the best time to do it. It is today, and I'm going to help you guys build that technology budget for your clients. A couple of the things that we're going to, the purpose of this call is, or the purpose of this webinar is to develop a repeatable process that delivers value to your clients. This improves relationships and increases gross margins. Why is it important? The client needs to know how much it's going to cost to maintain their technology. That's why you have the asset management piece. That's why you have the contracts and recommendations. The number one reason that customers say no to your recommendations is because they fear that the next time you come back, you're just going to ask for more money. How true is that? Can somebody give me like a testimony and say, you know what, that's actually accurate? Anybody? Jeff? Dan? Alexander? Is that, are your clients afraid of you coming back because all you're asking is for money?
They are not.
They're not afraid that you come back?
No.
Why is that?
No. Because of the relationship that we've built.
Okay.
Our relationship is based as a partnership on trust, and as a consultant, they've seen the value of how we've been able to help them become efficient,
Okay.
save them money, or do things for their business that's important to them.
So you've developed that relationship, but before then, do you think they were afraid that you come back, all you're asking for is money?
Absolutely, 100%. If there was no relationship, 100%.
Okay, cool, awesome. So questions that I'm going to ask you guys: what type of contracts do you include in your budget? Anybody? Don't make me single you guys out. Anybody? Chris? Jeff? Oh, I have a chat. As many as we can. Awesome. That's a good answer. But why? Why do you include as many contracts as you can in the budget?
I think it just pulls it all together.
Yeah.
So you might have like equipment leases, you might have internet contracts, you might have sometimes large software. Someone's going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a big software licensing deal. You may want to have visibility that that's out there, because it will have bearing on what you're trying to do. Perfect answer.
anything and everything, as many as you can as far as contracts is concerned. They have a lease on the building, I would include that, because you're in the future, if that lease is up and they can find a better building, you're going to have to take care of the wiring in that building and the Wi-Fi access points and where the server is going to go, and all the budgeting for the computers that they want in that new building. So Chris is right. Hey, anything, as many as you can. That's how many contracts you guys should include in your budget. Now, I get it. It's going to be difficult for some people. We'll discuss that in a few minutes. What type of recommendations do you provide, Alex? You're muted if you're talking. Or did I put you on the spot too much?
No, just kind of
Okay.
thinking about that.
Yeah, what kind of recommendations?
We do all types of recommendations.
Give me one as an example. One that doesn't cost anything.
One that doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
Their policies. Do you have an
Policy.
acceptable use policy in place?
Good recommendation. And typically on that recommendation, how long does it last? Like what's the timeline for it? 30 days?
You discuss it, yeah, per case.
Yeah.
You discuss it
Yeah.
per review,
Okay.
and then you revisit it.
Okay. Now when it comes to recommendations and you do revisit all those things, when do you talk about budgets to your clients? Is it every time you meet with them you talk about the budget?
No,
Or every 6 months?
usually when their fiscal year is coming towards an end, or towards that time frame, that quarter where their fiscal year is coming to an end,
Okay.
we begin to prepare what we're going to budget for on the following year.
Okay. Awesome. So those are the questions I have for you guys. I'll just put this on what's included in budgets: PCs and laptops and servers, network hardware, Internet of Things and smart devices. Put those in the budget. Contracts and subscriptions, cyber insurance, tech-related training, recommendations, and whatnot. I'm going to include those in the budgets. The next slide that I have for you guys is, what are the types of budgets, or how we're building budgets in Lifecycle Insights. This is my last slide for now. I'm going to go into Lifecycle Insights in a few. So in the budgets, you're going to look at asset management for red and yellow. That's what I teach everybody to start off with. But it shouldn't just be red or yellow. You should budget green. You should budget the ones that are coming that are brand new. Go ahead and budget that for however long that you budgeted for, 5 years from now or whatever. And I'll show you in the platform why it's important to actually go ahead and budget those green, those devices that are well off for a few years. Asset warranty. One thing we don't sell warranty statuses. Lifecycle Manager does. And in placing those into the budget forecast allows you to actually track how much you're spending in asset warranties for those assets in the asset management piece. Recommendations. Do you put recurring costs in your recommendations? I want to show you that in recommendations area. And then do you double it up? Do you give options for your clients? For example, and we'll touch base more on this, when it comes to servers, when do you give your clients an option of, hey, migration to cloud, which is going to cost a lot more in the beginning, but more cost effective as the years go by? Or do you give them an option for physical servers that is cheaper in the beginning, but more costly as you go, because those servers get old, there's more replacements, yada, 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 and all that. So do you give them two options for servers, migration to cloud or physical server that has VMs? And then contracts. First party, is your first party contracts part of your stack alignment? Is that like your backup, your firewalls, your VoIP? Is that part of that? Do you have a stack alignment piece for those first party contracts and those third party contracts for, like, if you don't have them, if you're not selling VoIP for your clients, they have their own VoIP. You should go ahead and include all those. So I'm going to stop my share there. I'm going to go into my Lifecycle Insights instance, and then I will go into the homework once we get done. So, all right. So now that can you guys see my screen? Yes.
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Thank you. So this is a Lifecycle Insights. This is the dashboard. A couple of things that I want to show you guys real quick. New things, a couple of changes. Right by my name, dark mode is live. So dark mode is here. If you're fans of dark mode, please, just click dark mode and it's good to go. And then the second piece is that in the budget forecast, we now have charts and graphs on the top. You can turn this off. You can hide the charts, and this is the view that we have, spreadsheet view and whatnot. And this is the one with graphs. And this, as you print this and as you report on this, it's actually filterable. So you can actually say, you know what, I don't want my recommendations. This is all their workstation software and contracts as a budget. Or I want my recommendations. I don't want contracts. This is how much their recommendations are going to cost them for the fiscal year. All right. So with that in mind, let's talk about the asset list first, right? Because I wanted to go asset and then recommendations and then contracts. So in the asset lists, you'll see that there is a cog right here. I already have warranty renewal costs for some of these devices. You can change that and put in warranty renewal cost. You should also put in recommendations and contracts for these devices. I have some contracts and I have recommendations for these devices. Now, sure, it's going to make this look bigger, but at least you now know that these devices have recommendations and which devices do not have recommendations. So you can plan for those as you go along with it. And then I have contracts. For example, these are $1 replacement cost. I just wanted to show them that there is a replacement cost for that because I didn't zero out, or if you choose the setting of no, it's gone now. We used to be able to zero out all the zeros, so I guess it's fine to have a replacement cost of 0 now. But I put that as $1 because it's part of a contract that I have with Carbon Systems, and I'll show you how to create a contract in a few minutes as well. So first and foremost, I get to add those columns, make sure that I have recommendations and contracts on there. So now that when I look at the asset list, I have the ability to see those recommendations. Any questions on that? No questions. Awesome. To build a recommendation from the asset list, sorry, Tony's coming in. To build a recommendation in the asset list, you can actually multi-select any of these end-of-life devices. I don't want to choose those. I want to choose the ones that I don't have a recommendation for. So this one's in March 2024. This one's, let's go with January 2025. Let's pick all these devices that are January 2025. They are a year off, okay? But I want to go ahead and build them a budget because more than likely, if they're expiring in January 2025, I'm going to want to give that recommendation in October 31st, or October 2024, so that they know that those are coming end of life soon. So I'm going to select those, choose an action, create recommendation, and from here I'm just going to select the date range of 2024. October, November, December. Click OK. This is not high priority yet. I'm just going to make this as booster demo because we'll come back to that at that time or next week. And that's 50% probability they might accept this. Considering how far it is in the budget, they probably will accept it, just as long as you get to show them those items. I'm going to select, let's see, this one in October, this one in November, and this one in December. So 2 in October, 2 in November, 1 in December, so that you have an even keel. You're actually giving them a budget for those 3 months. You can add labor and materials here. Best case scenario recommendation for you guys, go ahead and put in the cost for those labor and materials into the actual replacement cost in your devices. I.e., example, our default is $750 for workstation. You're going to add an extra $250 of materials like dock, monitor, keyboard, and mouse. So now that replacement cost is $1,000, and then you'll add $200 of labor on top of it, so that every time they go and install all these devices, it's $200 for that device. Then the replacement cost for these devices is now going to be $1,200, if that makes sense to everybody. Did that track with everyone?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and save this recommendation. At this moment, we have ConnectWise opportunity and AutoTask opportunity. So if you have that ability, if you guys are using ConnectWise and AutoTask, you have the ability to create an opportunity from here, and it will upload in AutoTask or Manage, and then or link existing ConnectWise opportunity from Manage and AutoTask. You can also create a PSA ticket to track labor hours, send this over to sales, get you an invoice or a quote or anything, and then you can save those invoices or quotes down here as a project file. Okay, so now that this is done, those are the linked assets. Now, when I come back to the to this list, I just have to refresh it. Those now are they have a recommendation on there, and then it will reflect on the budget forecast for next year. So let me take down this chart real quick so you can see it. October, December 2024, I now have a recommendation of, where's that booster recommendation right there, 9,194. So it's now on the budget. Now you're showing them, hey, this is for the devices coming up in January, March 2025. It's no longer there. The workstations are now taken into December 2024. And you now have the ability to say, hey, this actually works because your contracts and subscriptions is an extra $7,000 more that time. And if you look at this, I just evened out your spending those 2 quarters. Does that make sense to everybody? It used to be more here, less here, but now that I've moved those 2025 devices to here, it actually has an even keel in spending. Questions on that?
Good to go.
Okay, cool. This just gives you and your clients the confidence that they have the money to spend at that time. If you can even out their spending and say, you know what's 56,000 in January to March, 58 in October to December, you have the money to spend at that time. You'll be able to, this recommendation will more than likely be approved at that time that you do it. Now, the next business review, you're going to tell them, hey, this is my recommendation at that time. Should I go ahead and put that in progress or whatnot? Or are you going to decline this? Do you want to move it some other time? Just have that conversation with them with the budget forecast. All right. The next part, well, we discussed the recommendations area already, technically, because we created that recommendation for the booster demo. From here, you can filter in the status if this was proposed, priority. This one's medium because it's not anywhere near, we're not anywhere near the timeline for it. This is the roadmap view. The roadmap breaks it down by year. So 2024, where's that booster for 24? Right there at the end of the 2024. Then you'll have 2025 and whatnot. When you're reporting this to your clients, be sure that they understand that you're separating roadmaps. Like this is what I want to show you because these are the most important ones. These are the ones coming up soon, and these are the ones coming up next year. If you want to separate those into 2 separate reports, then I would suggest that you do that so that they don't see surprise. They don't act surprised when you show them that bill. And that's another reason why you present them with a budget forecast for 2024 is, hey, I don't want any surprises to come out, especially when it comes to your training, when it comes to your tech training, when it comes to your asset replacement, when it comes to your contracts and all that good stuff. I don't want any surprises because, not having that a bigger bill than usual would actually be bad for them. So I digress. That's the recommendations piece. The next part, and before I go into contracts, do we have any other questions, concerns, emotional outbursts? Awesome. So I'm going to go into contracts, and the contracts basically means that you include all the third party, as Chris said earlier, as many as you can for however many clients that you can, or for however many parties that you want. So third party, VoIP, ISP providers, their printer copier guy, their lease on their building, all that good stuff. If you have those information, go ahead and add them as new. Make sure you just, for example, VoIP, enter the account number if you have it. This third party, it is billing cycle, monthly, however much the cost is, and is this actual or estimated? We do actual or estimated there because we know that not every client will give you the keys to their finances. I know a couple of our clients have had pushback from new CFOs of their clients because, hey, they want to play it close to their chest. They don't want you to know how much they're actually spending. Completely understandable, right? Your job there is to make sure that your recommendations are approved. And the way for them to get approved, or the way for them to have the confidence to approve them, is that you're going to show them around the budget pieces that they have. For example, if you know that their VoIP is expiring this month and they have to renew it, you're not going to add 2 more asset replacements this month. You're going to move that December or January. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes, hopefully. So
Yes.
that's why you do that. That's why you build them a budget. That's why you do the recommendations, and that's why you get to find out all these other contracts. If you don't know their contract, for example, somebody comes in, I don't want to give you my finances because I want to play it close to my chest. I get it. Put this as estimated and guess how much they're paying for their VoIP. If it's $100, put in $100 cost on there, and then on your next review, be human. Know that and accept the fact, or be accountable for your mistake. Just tell them, hey, Mr. Creative Designs, I think I messed up on this, but just look at it real quick. I put in a contract that you're paying VoIP, your VoIP provider, $100 a month, and that your contract is for a year and that it expires in December. Did I get that right? Is it $100? Is it more? Is it less? If they say it's more, add another $50 on top. And then the next time you report on this, the next time you have a conversation, I think this is how much it's going to cost. What do you think? If it's not, that's, add more or add or subtract, depending on their response. You're there to provide them a budget so that they understand their technology needs and how much it's costing them. I have a question here. Shouldn't all these agreements be in ConnectWise managed? Some of them are not there, Ricardo. I know some, like your MSAs, your SLAs, anything that you're providing for your clients are under ConnectWise managed agreements, but VoIP, leasing, printer copier, if you're not providing that, those aren't going to be on there. You can if you want to, but you're not billing them for that. So most of the time, some people don't have those in the agreement section. Oh, that's perfect. You keep the third-party agreements too, for the reasons explained. Yes, that's right. Having them in manage will also help for help desk to know who are the vendors who support them, and however you're doing it, Ricardo, is good. Just keep doing it that way, and make sure that you keep those agreements updated. And this, like Ricardo says, that hey, having them in manage will also help and keep help for the help desk team to know who the other vendors are and how we support them. And basically that just means that if they have a VoIP, if one of their clients have a third-party VoIP contract, it's already in their ConnectWise manage. Their help desk knows who to call if their phone systems are down. Now, if Ricardo ever goes and says, you know what, I talked to Verizon, they're going to give me a spiff on VoIP contracts, then I'm going to start selling them on VoIP. Having that knowledge that they already know who their contact is, who their VoIP provider is, having that gives them more of a chance to say, hey, we're going to beat them in price, and I'm going to get paid by Verizon because of it. Or, I can give them long distance calling or something like that, something that separates you from that actual VoIP provider. And however you guys are doing it is great. It's good stuff. Good job, Ricardo and team. Awesome. Another thing about VoIP, and I just wanted to touch base on that. We keep these notice days on here and then alert days. So most VoIP contracts have a 60-day notice that you have to cancel that VoIP contract. Within 60, you have to cancel 60 days prior to their actual end date. This gives you the ability to actually put in notice days for how many days they have left on the contract. And then the alert, make sure you put that on notice date. 30 days prior to that notice date, you'll get alerted on our dashboard saying, hey, we have a contract expiring soon. You might want to talk to them if this is a VoIP contract that you can replace, that you can replace for them, save them some more money, or get you paid more. Get the 30 days will give you more time to actually come in with a business review and say, or just a virtual meeting or even a phone meeting, say, hey, I can save you some more money if you switch to my VoIP. I have to know by this time because the VoIP provider requires 60 days prior to cancellation. So that is the conversation on there. Or if you want to give them, if you want to talk to their VoIP provider and say, hey, these guys don't require long distance. They just need a phone system, and you can haggle with them to lower down the price if that's what you want to do for them. Okay. Couple other things in the contracts and subscriptions. Budgets. Would you like to budget this past the contract end date? Yeah, I'm going to put yes on here because I'm a customer success guy. My success is your success. And as an account manager, that's what you're supposed to do for your clients. So I'm going to put yes on here, even though our contract ends, let's say I'm an MSP and my client's contract ends in December. This contract and subscription will go forever past my contract with that client. I'm going to provide him with this report. I'm going to provide him with this contract, send him that contract budget forecast, give it to him in years, just change the reporting here, change it to years, and then give him 5 years worth. If that contract is passed, like for example, my recommendations is over in 2025, but his contracts go for 2026 and 2027, you're doing that company, your client, a favor by showing them their contracts, their leases, their subscriptions past your time of fixing that for them. This will give them more confidence if they find another MSP. Hey, these are the contracts that they need to address. If they don't address that, guess who they're going to come back to? Because you addressed that for them, they're more than likely going to resign and say, hey, you know what, we messed up. You took care of our contracts. Then I would come back to you because you had that seat at that table. Does that make sense to everybody? Awesome. So I talked about the contracts piece. I should have given this to you guys when you guys sign with us. Sorry, I am not prepared today. It is a contracts piece. Sorry, I'm looking for this in my file. Oops, sorry. Here it is. Okay, so these are the contracts you should be tracking. Like I was talking about, line of business applications, copiers, equipments, web hosting certificates, firewalls, training, cameras, IT training, cloud, and whatnot. This gives you a total technology budget. This should allow you to move around your recommendations around these budgetary pieces. This will give them, this will give you knowledge on what they're spending on and how much they're spending on these contracts. This gives you the confidence of, considering you guys are technology experts for your clients, and I can guarantee it because your clients have probably submitted a ticket on a camera system you guys aren't in charge of and whatnot. Why not include that camera system, and when it expires, so that you can buy them a new one and or a better one and or something that provides you with a spiff, because you are the technology experts in your clients' minds. They rely on you to fix everything technology wise. So put that in your budget. Make sure that if you do get a ticket for it, if some people know how to fix that, or find somebody to call to fix that, you are there for them on that technology piece. All right. I've been talking for a good 40 minutes now. I am going to go back to my slide, and I'm going to give you guys homework. Where's my slide? Awesome. Okay, I can show you guys this, it's fine. The next part, which is next week at 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., just remember, I'm going to send out invites to everybody. But it might not change on your Google Calendar or Outlook. So go ahead and block off that time and put in the same Zoom room. It's going to be the same for that at 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. All right, so next week, we're going to be talking about the remediation plan that you have. With our technical deficiencies identified, budget outlined for quarterly or yearly, it's time to talk about fixing those things. This is where a good remediation plan can help you. A transparent plan helps the client prioritize their deficiencies based on how they impact business operation and outcomes. So what that basically is saying is the budgetary pieces for end-of-life devices have to come first. You have to secure them, because should be one of your policies. Security should be one of your policies. And then you would have free and paid recommendations. When I asked Alex earlier, what are the free recommendations you have? They're policies. Your policies that trumps over their environment. Lifecycle management, warranties for critical systems, buying down technical debt. If they have if they bought something that's they didn't buy it from you, but they have it's a monthly purchase, like a new computer or whatever, they didn't buy it from you or you didn't sell it to them, make sure that you know how much that technical debt is, or that technology debt is, so that you can help them pay off that stuff. Deploying cybersecurity tools, your stack alignment piece, cloud migrations. When I was talking about the 2 different server recommendations, you should give them options for that. Infrastructure and relocation projects. Once again, the contract of the leasing of that building or should be part of the budget, because if you can find them a better building with better that you can have a better Wi-Fi signal and or better electric components that you can actually confidently plug a UPS and or a server, then that should be one of the priorities for it. So next week, we're going to talk about the remediation plans. And then this is where we're at right now. It's not too late to build a budget. Budget deep dive is next week. And then on the 15th, looking back and looking forward, that's when our devs actually come in, talk about what we've done so far. Dark mode is going to be included on those. The budgetary charts are going to be included on those. And 11/22, I don't know yet. That's Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving is the next day. I'm just going to open this up for November 22nd. If you guys want to meet, I'd love to see or love to talk to you guys about what you guys are thankful for that week. And then we'll discuss On the 29th, what does 2024 look like? I'm going to invite some of our MSP partners, some of our MSP thought leadership heads to find out what's coming up next. And then on 12/6, we're going to do QBRs quickly. So budget deep dive, you guys finish this work today. I help you understand the stuff, do the homework. We'll meet next week. We'll figure out what the homework does. I'll talk more with our partners. And then on December, first 2 weeks of December, I'm going to implement all these technology budgets, putting them into actual QBR, and I'll help you guys build a QBR quickly. I have something on the chat, sorry. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Alexander, for it. Question: do you have any budget advice for companies with multiple locations or subsidiaries? Chris, I want to ask the question of what do they have that needs a budget? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if they have multiple satellites and those
give you a use case. Give you a use case. Let's say you have assisted living, and let's say there's an ownership group that basically pays for technology improvements for location A, but they have really no involvement in location B. So you may have stack alignment say, okay, we want to, upgrade wireless across your environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you might have to break out budget for location A, so that, certain stakeholders see that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's different other cases, but from time to time you need to carve it up because there's other stakeholders at play.
No, yeah, and you're right. And the problem with stakeholders is you have to keep them happy. So, in a lack of better words, that's what it is, right? All the stakeholders want their ROI, and you going into a second satellite building won't give them ROI per se. But then again, you can present this to your stakeholders and say, hey, if we give the same amount of care to that other satellite, that other building might get more people, or it will be better for them to market that to the newcomers or whatnot. It really depends. And I think the worst part about it is because they're not in charge of their money. If that assisted living people is not in charge of their money, it's actual VC, and you have to satisfy that VC first. So if you tell those assisted living people on satellite A and say, hey, I want to help satellite B out, and this is the budget. If you present this to your VC or to whoever owns this actual thing, and if you get that approved, then great, I'll help you build satellite B. But satellite A is first and foremost because one, that's who's actually paying us. Does that make sense, Chris?
Yeah, I just know. Yeah. I know you can filter by location.
You can.
But I think there's some limitations with that. So I was just kind of curious. I was kind of curious if people had if there's tagging or is there some other ways to kind of because there's times you need to filter it, right? Or anyway.
No, hey, tell you what, save that question. I'm going to bring in a couple of industry experts on this next week. So yeah, we'll discuss that more next week. Sina, question: moving forward, this meeting would be on November 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Also, I have 2 more trainings for Friday, November 3rd at 1 p.m. Are they accurate? That's a good question. Is it training with me, Sina?
I believe they're the same links. They're under Lifecycle Insight Booster, and the 3 o'clock is just says Lifecycle Insights.
On Friday, you said?
Yes, sir. November 3rd.
I don't have that training. Who are you training with? Does it say?
Let me see.
It's 3 p.m. Eastern with Luis.
Yeah, the 3 p.m. Eastern on November 3rd is our Lifecycle Insight. It used to be office hours. It's now changed to that office hours is now moved to Wednesdays. Okay. Luis has his own call and scalepad.com/events for Luis's MSP Confidential. So that might be it, unless it's something else. But good question. Then 1 p.m. Eastern, I don't have anything on that end. Hold on. What is your company, Sina?
Mitchell Consulting Group.
Sorry, the what?
Mitchell Consulting Group.
Oh, that's right. You are with Ricardo.
Yes.
I don't have that training. I'll reach out to you on this, Sina.
You want my email address or?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Yes, please. Just type it on chat, on direct message to me, please, so that nobody else can get it. That's, hey.
Sir, no worries.
Yeah, Ricardo, let me put that VCIO stuff and Launchpad stuff. Okay.
Just sent you my email. And
Thank you.
also for the VCIO and the customer success manager sessions, do you think you can send me those trainings as well?
Actually, I just sent it to Ricardo, but I'm going to send this on to our everyone in meetings. So anybody who wants to attend these VCIO Launchpads, which is our onboarding, that's on Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern. And then the customer success Launchpads are 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. Oops.
Okay.
Sorry, it's the wrong. Sorry. I thought I was better with copy and pasting. I am not. So I put those on there for you guys. Now we have 10 minutes left. I want to be good steward of your time. Homework is get one client, put in all the contracts that you would have for them, put in as many recommendations as you have, and the recommendations shouldn't only be red, yellow, or the red and yellow assets. Go ahead and put those on green as well, so that you can build them an actual yearly budget. And real quick, I'll just go back into that. Oh, sorry, that's my background. Okay, so on the asset list, we created the ones for the yellow, but in the budget forecast, if you change this into yearly, this workstation right here in 2027, $12,000 worth of workstations, would it make sense to move some of that in 2026? That's what we did. Remember, when I changed this from quarterly, 6 quarters worth, we moved those workstations from 2025 to 2024 because I wanted an even keel in spending. So go ahead, when you're looking at their yearly options, to go ahead and change the ones that are in green, because these are still in green, to either 2026 so that they have an even keel in spending. As you can see, they're spending $17,000 more at that time, and 12,000 of that is that workstation replacement. So moving some of this to here would actually make sense. So cool. Once again, homework: find one customer, put in all their contracts, put in all the recommendations, and then we'll discuss in the first few, like 10-20 minutes of next week, and then we can have all the questions and concerns and emotional outbursts afterwards, and I'll ask the same questions that Chris actually asked on industry experts for everyone else. Any other thoughts, concerns, questions, emotional outbursts for today? All right, just a reminder, next week it's 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. All right, it's the same link. So I know for a fact Google Calendar doesn't, or Outlook doesn't change the time. Go ahead and block that time off. Move that same Zoom number or Zoom link to that time. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here at 1 p.m. next week, just to tell people it's going to be 3 p.m. But yeah, I digress. But thank you once again, everyone, for participating. I'll see you guys next week, and we'll go from there, okay?
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep. All right, guys.
Thank you, Mark.
You are very welcome, everybody. You are very, very welcome.